Shining Force 3. Finally, I'm getting the chance to record this game. It's June 1st. I've said I was going to record this game for a long time. Ever since my channel first started, this is pretty much the #1 game that I've wanted to record, especially with all that nonsense a couple years ago with Sega taking down some YouTube videos of Shining Force 3 and whatnot. All that BS. And I am here to record this shit and record it fucking good. Now, this game is a little different from all of the Shining Force games. I previously recorded all the other Shining Force games on the channel here. And I did that because, you know, a lot of the characters from other Shining Force games appear, you know, in a couple parts of the game here. One big thing towards the end. And the reason this game is vastly different from the other Shining Force games, of course, is that, you know, right now this is Shining Force 3 Scenario 1 that, we obviously are starting with. Oh, hey, Gracia. And this is a separate game from Shining Force 3 Scenario 2 and Scenario 3, and then, of course, there's the premium disc at the end. And these are all separate games. Like, it is one big, long story, but they all are actually, you know, games unto themselves. So what this does is this creates a game that is just so damn long and so damn good. I am pumped. Here we are, Scenario 1, the Titan of Aspia. And, of course, you know, the giant monster we just saw that might come into play. We'll see. And actually, there's going to be some interesting things going on with that. But anyway. Alright, so here we are, moving on to Scenario 1. And, you know, the other Shining Force games have, like, the witch and stuff. But here, it's, you know, this wizard and then the fairy. And, of course, what do you do at the beginning? You begin! So let's jump on in. Okay, so we are the one he's looking for. This really doesn't, you know, have much to do with anything. It's just basically the witches from Shining Force 2 or the little girl in Shining Force 1. Just, you know, we're supposed to be this character here. This is our avatar, basically, into this world. Alright, so we don't have a lot of time. Yeah, shit is not good right now. Okay, so here's the thing. So, for each scenario, there is a different main character that we get to control, and in total, we'll have 3 different forces, which I absolutely fucking love. Oh, but during times of physical conflict, his soul burns hotter and hotter as he releases the savageness of a tiger. Is that not the most baller shit? Okay, this is Symbiose. I love this dude. Symbiose is awesome. Yes, that name's fine. Of course, I'm just gonna stick with, you know, the default names that will be good enough. And next we have a man who fights like a dragon, and he's got that iron will. He has the will of fire, so to speak. This is Medion. Yep, that name is A-okay. And then we have the third hero. Oh, Sorrow. A past full of sadness, because again, we are in a 90s JRPG here. So of course, you know, we have to have a character with a mysterious past. Maybe he's out for some revenga! We'll see, but he is a wolf with sharp and virtuous fangs. I really do like these descriptive words they're using. Very solid, very solid. Okay, so fare thee well, Symbiose. On we go. Now, I should mention, well, after we get the chapter, yep, Chapter 1, in the floating city of Saraband. Solid name for the chapter. Okay, so, I already talked about how there was 3 different scenarios. The first scenario was released in the United States on the Sega Saturn, you know, business as usual, nothing crazy, no problems or anything like that. However, Scenarios 2 and 3 were not released in America, so those games were basically Japanese only. And then as an extension of this, when this game, Scenario 1, was released in the United States, and I believe it, Scenario 2 and 3, they're only in Japan. They weren't released in, like, Europe or anything like that. Some lines of dialogue in this game were changed. The script was doctored just a little bit so that it appeared as a standalone game, which, of course, it's not. It plays into this big overarching story here. So, of course, the incredible, amazing, wonderful, beautiful team that translated this game, who has my eternal thanks forever, a team, the Shining Force 3 Translation Project or something, they completely made a script for Scenarios 2 and 3, and the premium disc they got, you know, a little bit translated, and they changed, I believe, a good amount of dialogue here in Scenario 1 as well to, you know, take away the changes that were made to it when it was originally brought over to America. So thanks to this wonderful translation team, we're able to go through the entire game as intended. And of course, I mean, each scenario is, you know, 70 plus hours long. But okay, so now we're getting into it. So the gist of what's going on, I'm just going to explain a very, very small amount here. Basically, this is a peace conference is what's going on right now between an empire and a freshly created republic. And by freshly created, I think the amount of time might be said somewhere, but I don't think, it can't be longer than 5 or 10 years. It might even be, you know, newer than that. And of course, obviously, the peace conference is not going well because guess what? Just as is the case in most JRPGs around this time, there is the evil empire. Although I suppose we probably would have Star Wars to thank for that, wouldn't we? Yeah, a lot of these Japanese games around this time do take a lot of influence from the original Star Wars. Alright, and of course, the Empire, they are not really in the mood to cooperate. We will probably get into that a little later. Alright, now see, what happens here is this game is going to be so damn heavy in plot. This isn't quite Final Fantasy Tactics, but this is pretty damn close with the level of, like, backstabbing, intrigue, spies, shit going on behind the scenes. That's another thing that I love. Like, this type of atmosphere, along with this kind of gameplay of, you know, rolling out your army, outfitting all your different troops, this melds very well together. And that's one reason Shining Force 3, this is, man, this has got to be at least one of my top 3 games all time. And so, but basically, because of how politically, you know, I lost the word there, but basically, because this game is so political, at the start here, we are just thrust into, like, you know, this thing. All these names are going to be coming out of us, you know, at us. All the different names of, like, towns, generals, you know, the empire this, the empire that, the emperor, the king, you know, there's all this shit is going on, but that's what I'm here for, is to help explain everything. The other thing that is actually really cool is all of these names that get thrown around, all of these dudes, literally, like, every single fucking one becomes a boss at some point through one of the 3 scenarios. So all of these dudes, you know, all these names, we're gonna hear Tybolt, well, let me not go into their names too much, but, you know, you get the picture. They're all eventually going to be enemies. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. And you cannot escape the Emperor's greedy eyes, because guess what? The Emperor might be a dick. There's a small chance of that. And yeah, this guy, that's Edmund right there, and he agrees with Danteris. Yep. So basically, Tybolt, or Tybalt, I'm gonna go Tybolt, he asks for the Empire's aid to help squash, I guess, like, sort of like a rebellion, because his territory was, you know, in a heavy drought and stuff. The Republic, you know, they're now free from the Empire, but as a result, they are very, very poor. Yep, and the Empire, they're going to take advantage of any little thing they can in order to get a strong grip on the territory that they lost. Yep, life is very unbearable right now. But hey, that's why we are here at these peace talks, so that all of this shit will just stop. Peace, man, that's what we're here for. Okay, yep, see here again. General Varlant. And the rabble General Varlant mentioned. Who could that be, I wonder? Oh, yeah, no need to bring up that subject. That's not that important. No, there's no way that's going to be the villain we'll be fighting for multiple scenarios or anything. Alright, now here we get Benetram. This dude, I fucking love this dude. It will become very clear why as we continue on through the game. This is the OG right here. That's who this is. That just needs to be established right there. Alright, and Symbios, that is of course who we are controlling. And, you know, as is per the case with a lot of these Shining Force games, we have a silent protagonist, you know, Link from Legend of Zelda, something like that. Now, what's going on? Symbios' father, as we'll learn, Conrad, is a hero of the Empire. And, you know, now he joined, he came with the Republic. And so Conrad is a hero basically of both the Republic and the Empire. And he's really high up in the ranks of the Republic now. And I believe Conrad is, yes, he has become very ill. So he was not able to attend this peace conference. And of course, he's such a, you know, a hero that his presence would be greatly, damn, I can't talk today. Whatever, okay. Alright, yeah, are you unsatisfied with Symbios? Well, you might not be after Scenario 1. You'll be loving him. Yeah, General Varlant. Alright, so it's not a good idea that Varlant would be here. But why is that? Why wouldn't we want Varlant here? Ah, the temper for such delicate negotiations. Yes, the negotiations of a peace conference like this would be very delicate indeed. Alright, and we have Dantaris, or Dantaris. Man, I'm going to be saying his name all kinds of ways throughout this playthrough. He actually is a knight. He will be joining us. And he is already, I believe, kind of a hero in the Republic. A very, very strong warrior here. I like Dantaris. He's a really cool dude. And yes, you know what, Dantaris? You might be right. There's a slight chance Symbios could put the Republic on his back. I agree. Maybe a little sooner than you meant right there, but oh well. Okay, yes, so, the people who are trying to tear things down, who exactly are they, Brutus? Please tell us, motherfucker. Oh, well, you know, Eto, Alright, spit it out, boy. Alright, so, see, this is what I'm talking about, Balsamo. That's another town that we actually will be going to, not too far in the future. Probably by, like, part 4 or 5 or something like that. And there's some strange motherfuckers over there. Yeah. Yeah. Could you perhaps be a little less vague? Okay, so we've got monks of a bizarre religious sect. Masked monks. Okay, pagan monks. Yep. Alright, Balsamo is very, very close to the town Saraband, where we are right now, too. Proliferate on this continent in the face of the holy word of Elbasam. So Elbasam, this is the religion that's accepted by basically, you know, all the people of the Republic and the Empire. Except, obviously, of course, for the pagan mass monks here. And, you know, mass monks, man, no way they'll be evil or anything. They're just a group of swell guys. A little misunderstood, but that, you know, no biggie there, no biggie. Coming new order, really, really. Are they dangerous, Benetram? What if their true aim is more sinister? Yeah, you know, that sure would suck if they were underhanded, but no way. Alright, so I guess it's a big time of unrest right now. Not quite, you know, coming off of the 50-year war like in Final Fantasy Tactics, but there is definitely some tension, you know, simmering around different areas and territories. Yeah. Nuts everywhere. Worry about all of them and you'll become one. You know what, Brutus? True that. You are not wrong there. Oh, look at the Benetram here with a little inside knowledge. This is what I'm talking about, Benetram. I love this dude. Alright, but anyway, we gotta talk peace, man. No more wars, none of this bullshit. Alright, so let's discuss some peace strategies. Nani? Okay, so here we have Mascarin. This was the cutie, I might add, who was looking in the window before, when Dantares closed the window on her. Alright, so there's a messenger from Saraband. Now, Saraband is neutral to the Empire and the Republic. Saraband is kind of like a third separate force altogether. Because Saraband is very prosperous. At some point, I'm pretty sure they get into the details of exactly how. But that's you know, that's the deal here is we got the leaders from the Republic and the Empire coming to a neutral... I'm not sure exactly what to call it. I mean, it's nothing more than a giant city. They're in this neutral city to discuss peace, rather than being, you know, completely in the Empire or Republic's territory, although we are technically on the Empire side of, like, this, you know, continent that we're on. Alright, so here we have a Saraband messenger, and he's gonna escort Benetram to the peace conference. But, you know, a bit ahead of schedule. Huh, that's weird. Oh, well, you know, nothing too crazy there. Okay, so Governor Garvin, this is the leader of Saraband. To an informal council. Now, see, this is a great idea, actually. You know, without, you know, 3 advisors on each side and, you know, the top generals and all the people arguing. You know, just a small little get-together of, like, the highest powers would work pretty solid, I'm sure. Yeah, yes, I certainly would agree, Tybalt. 2 of us might make some progress. Yep. This is a great idea. Let's do it. A bodyguard. Yes, you're definitely going to need a bodyguard because the Empire might be a little evil, just saying. So, you know. Edmund. Okay, so Edmund is a very, very powerful Republican general. That is mentioned at some point. But Edmund is not a bitch. Yeah, you're a little too emotional, Tybalt, so you're just going to have to remain here. Alright, so the king is asking us to do something. And of course, he is King Benetram, but the Republic is, you know, basically a democracy. It's not like, you know, Benetram, like, he's given the title of king, but he's not like you know, iron fist judgment dictator ruling the Republic. You know, that's why it's the Republic and not the Empire. Alright, so he wants us to go explore the town and, you know, see what's going on. And sure, that sounds like a good idea to explore, get items, maybe get into our first battle. Sure. Emperor Domeric, that's his name. Okay, so apparently Symbios is very serious, just like his father Conrad. Relax among the people! Don't kill Empire soldiers, though. That probably wouldn't be a good idea. Okay, so Dantares, guess what? An Imperial Knight Campbell. And he's with Medion, and of course, we're already aware that Medion will be the hero for the second scenario. And Campbell is a very powerful knight. A border skirmish, okay. So don't fuck with Campbell. Pay him respect when you see him. Gotcha. Thank you, Benetram. We will do just that. And off the three of them go. Bye. We'll definitely see you guys again. Alright, so now what do we do? Guess it's time to just call in the hookers. Call in the hoes. The entertainment. Alright, well, Benetram did tell us to go do stuff, so looks like we won't get to join in the fun sex party. And here we go. So we've got our second party member, Dantares. Oh, okay. Thank you, Brutus. An Imperial camp. Might be able to discover something. Oh, yeah. Basically, if you want to advance the plot, go there. Gotcha. Liability for the Republic. Okay, so Symbios, fill the void that your father not being here has created. Before I leave, I believe we can actually grab a couple items in here. Now, this game is more along the lines of like a Shining Force 2 rather than like a Shining Force CD or Shining Force Gate and Final Conflict, anything like that. This game, you're doing a lot of exploring, but because it's not because it is chapter formatted, you're not going to be returning to a lot of the areas that you've explored. So it's like a combination of Shining Force 1 and 2. So you only get one chance to explore all the towns, so everything is missable. So you got to make sure you comb the areas very good before moving on. Yep, soften the enemy with long-range attacks, and beat the shit out of them with physicals. And I believe we have a healing drop here. Very nice. And this store is locked. Yes, it is. Nothing. Scratching noise. Scratching noise. I think there's a lot of different things you can actually get here. Yeah. Something's there. What? Oh, there's... Maybe not. All right. Okay, so let's get the fuck out of here. And I believe... Yep, here we go. Okay, so we've got Grace here. Hello, Grace. What are you up to? Yeah, and where's that little rascal masquerade? That little minx. Oh, yeah, she's a minx. Yeah, she shouldn't have been such a nagging, nosy little girl. Come on, masquerade. Oh, she wants to be forgiven, huh? Well, Lord Symbios has a way of forgiving this little minx. And I guess Symbios is like, oh, Dantares, get the stick out of your ass. It'll be fine. Since Lord Symbios insists, and since she's gonna be his future baby mama, I guess it'll be okay. There she is. Hello, girl. I have a feeling you're gonna be very powerful throughout the game. Oh, you naughty girl, you deserve to be spanked acting like that. Alright, flowers. Interesting. The messenger gave them to me earlier. It's almost like when the game started up and we saw that monk get the flowers and then transform into the guard. Interesting. So it's almost like a hint that something may not be all good going on with that messenger then. Well, Symbios will take the flowers. Symbios-sama. Now, she's appealing to Symbios, Dantares, so you can just fuck right off, okay? Yeah, what was that you were saying? Exactly, shut up. Alright, so let's not waste any more time. Yeah, let's go get lots of treasure. Alright, so we get Mascarin, who's a wizard. You know, she's got blaze magic and stuff. And then Grace is our healer. And I can say right off the bat that these 4 characters will be in our party the entire game, because all of them are very good. And we can enter in this place from this side, but... Aha, we unlocked it! Yeah, boy! Alright, so I know there's an item we can grab upstairs, then I'm gonna go over a couple of things about exactly how this game works. Nothing in here. You know, I do actually really like the music in this game, too. And man, this game is just, this shit is fucking good. So big, so many mechanics, so much shit going on. Alright, excuse me, into the store, haha! And we get a chest with a potion. Probably won't be using a lot of those really powerful healing items, but whatever. And I don't think there's anything else in here. No, there's not. Okay. So, let me go over some things. Alright, so let's jump into the status, and we'll just go to Symbiosis first. Alright, so here we have all, you know, Symbiosis stats. Nothing too crazy. Luck is actually something that will play a big part in the game as we move forward in terms of resisting status effects and such as that. Now, the support thing on the left there, that's actually very important. Let me just quickly jump over to Friendship. So, the support type and Friendship is something that's actually linked, and this is new to Shining Force 3 here. Now, as your characters attack enemies, heal each other, they eventually will build up a friendship so that when they're standing next to each other, like, bonuses will happen. So, like, if we go to status, we see that Symbiosis support is attack. So, let's say Dantares builds up a friendship. There's a couple different levels. You can get to, like, friend, I believe partner. Eventually, the highest gets to, like, soulmate. And I think there's also a trusted level. Once you actually build a friendship level, if Dantares was standing next to Symbiosis, who gives an attack bonus, then I believe Dantares would get a bonus of 5 to his attack. So the friendship system does come into play, and it is very useful. And I know that, like, when you're fighting an enemy, let's say it's a really strong enemy like a boss, and, you know, your, soldiers are attacking it one by one and stuff. Now, you'll only gain friendship with, like, the person who attacked before you. And so then you would also gain friendship with the person who attacked next. So, you will build friendships up more so, like, with characters who you're always fighting with. And, using, like, medical herbs and stuff on them, I think does factor into it. I think the factor of how it's raised might be experience, because I know that's how these go up, and there's several different weapon types in this game, like a sword, for example. There's swords, rapiers, and blades. 3 different level of, a sword-type weapon. And there's also knives, which for the hero class is a throwing weapon. All classes have, like, long-range options with weapons now, which is really, really good. And as you gain experience, using that weapon type, eventually, see how it says sword level 0 right there? Eventually that raises, and that gives you attack bonuses while you're using that type of weapon. And also, eventually, you'll learn special attacks. Like, see where it says specials? As your sword level goes up, you'll learn special critical hits. So, this system is very good. And, each character, there's different stuff. Like, there's lances, spears, and there's also halberds. Is there not? No, yeah, lances, spears, halberds. Then for, like, the axe wielders, like the warriors, they have, normal axes, maces, and throwing axes. And then, there's, like, arrows, quirls, and, what's the third one? Oh, fuck, it's like bombs or something? God damn it, how do I forget? Whatever. Okay, so those 2 systems, the friendship and then, kind of leveling up with your weaponry, those are really big changes to this game that adds a lot of variety and a lot of spice. It's very, very solid. Now, the other thing is, just like Shining Force Resurrection of the Dragon, or perhaps I should say Shining Force Resurrection of the Dark Dragon, is like this game here, is that your weapons and accessories are in its own little area. So, like, so yeah, this is perfect. So, like, the sword and the accessory would be at the top, and then you have, like, your inventory for, any miscellaneous items you might have, healing items, etc. So that's really useful, so you can get a lot more out of your inventory. Because, like, Dantares would have, a lance, a spear, and like the power ring, and then he'd only have one open slot for if he's gonna kill an enemy that'll drop something, or maybe you know, he wants to carry a healing item. Okay, so what else is there to go over? Yeah, magic. You know, every character has different magic resistances at the bottom there. Obviously, the magic users like Mascarin and Grace, their magic resistances are going to be a lot higher. Like, Mascarin is very, very good against magic, which, you know, I guess that's the way it should be, since magic users are going to have low defense to offset that. And, of course, each class type has a different support. Like, you know, the priest has magic defense and luck. The magician has just magic attack power up. And Dantares is succumb. I believe that lowers the chance of an enemy critical hit when you're, if you would have like a friendship character next to him get attacked. So that pretty much goes over any new changes. This game is fucking good. As soon as we get into a battle, everything else will become very, very evident. And I think that's probably about it for the first episode. This is pretty good. It'll still be a little while before we get into a battle. This is a rather large town with a lot of treasure that we still have yet to explore, and we'll do that next time. Later, bitches!